What's good, big guys? Welcome to the 5th episode of Big Guys Podcast. I'm here with Casey McClure and Joey Bags Barbucio, our stock analyst, special guest of the week.
Thanks for having me, big guys. I'm doing pretty well.
Hey, yeah, that's great to hear. How are you, Casey?
I'm doing good. It was a crazy week, obviously. We bring Joe on as our senior stock analyst. You've been, he's been investing for 4 years now, correct?
Yep.
4 years. So, there's a lot happening in the stock market.
Definitely.
A lot of people are going to the moon. We're trying to hold the door. We bring Joe on here to break it down and really, get his take on everything that is going on in the world. So,
What started as, what seemed to be like a market manipulation really turned out to be an all-out revolution for the common man, which was really beautiful to really see with my own eyes, especially for a brand new start in 2021, which seemed, to be very breaking. It was very adverse. Both sides just couldn't seem to agree on anything.
Yep.
But now unity for the people. Everything's for the people.
It's crazy to see what the internet can do.
I know.
You
I mean, we all found a common enemy. It was these stupid ass hedge funds. They really, some Reddit guy, obviously started a movement and people started hammering GameStop stock, AMC stock, and really it changed the way. It kind of made a joke out of the stock market. If you could get a big enough following to hammer one thing and you go against the hedge funds, I don't know too much about stocks, but it just seems like that's a move because they just have to buy more, more stocks at a higher price, correct?
Yep. So basically, these guys just want to start picking on the low-hanging fruit, which happened to be GameStop, which we all grew up. Remember
Beloved GameStop.
That's right.
Remember when NCAA 07 at GameStop for like 99 cents.
Amazing company. I mean, I remember being a kid in school, waiting to be picked up from mom or dad, and getting to be able to go pick up the new Call of Duty that week.
Yeah, the smell of a fresh game.
Yep.
Not fresh though, like pre-owned all day.
You go pre-owned.
I always went pre-owned.
No such thing as a digital download yet, right?
No.
Not a chance.
Which was the downfall of GameStop.
Yeah. And you can go in and like play the games, test them out. They would have tournaments. I was in a Madden tournament at GameStop once. Had to leave. I was 3-0. Had to leave early for an actual football game. But good GameStop, great memories. And
I remember that one time where we sold pretty much our entire collection of video games and our Xbox Connect for about $100.
I think we got. Was it? Yeah, it was just $100.
It was like $99.
It was like our entire childhood.
It's definitely less than one stock of GameStop right now.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But it's just crazy to see them pick on such a low hanging fruit, and basically what they're doing, shorting the stock, is that these people shorting are borrowing stocks from lenders and immediately selling it, right? In hopes, they're betting, in hopes that the stock drops. So that way they could buy those cheap shares and bring those shares from the lenders back and pocket the difference, right? So kind of a risky way, but a very quick way of making money, and it just so happened to be GameStop, and a lot of people took offense to that. So the idea was, hey, let's ban everyone together, raise the price. That way they once their calls are finished, and they just have to keep buying those shares at a higher price, which in the end it's just raising the price even further, right? So it's kind of a non-ending cycle.
Yeah, I mean, and just going to GameStop, as you said, was kind of falling off the table. They weren't doing good. You were always seeing. I know I was reading articles about GameStop being going out of business, this and that, and obviously with the digital marketplace, like you don't really go to GameStop anymore as much as you used to. So I actually understand hedging GameStop stock because like it's not it almost seemed like a blockbuster. Like it was on its way out.
Right.
It was like $3 a share back in April of last year.
Yep.
And now, with this movement that this guy created, it kind of just brought everyone together, and they were going to the moon. I mean, we'll talk about Dogecoin going to the moon soon, but GameStop was on its way too,
yeah.
and
Even before
Dogecoin was just like, all right, we can't do GameStop because the Robinhood CEO, which a lot of this movement, I guess, was investing through Robinhood, and completely kind of cut them off from raising that price.
Right. So here's the first thing. You mentioned how GameStop was basically going in the shitter, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of market manipulation. People would look at that. They see, oh my gosh, GameStop is going bankrupt.
And now,
out of business.
Do these hedge funds kind of just push that in the media?
Right. And basically, what happens is that's the perfect recipe for shorting the stock. Mm-hmm. People are pulling everything they have out of it, right? Lowering the volume, getting shares for cheap, and that's how they're making all this money.
Yeah, that's unfortunate to see a stock. I don't want to see a company, especially like GameStop or AMC, go out of business. Like, I wish there was a way to, that they can either change their CEO, find another business plan, and figure this thing out. But these hedge funds are banking on the fact that they are going out of business and basically making a bet. And so it's free game. I mean, mm-hmm. anyone could win in a bet, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And these guys are getting support from that, and it's like pretty unfair.
Right.
It's a pretty reckless move. I actually, with all this stuff happening, I watched The Big Short last night before I went to bed, just to kind of get, I was in the mood for it. And it really is just kind of exactly what these hedge fund guys did, is what the bankers did back then. It's very reckless,
right.
Because they're playing with money, mm-hmm. their clients' money,
yeah.
And very reckless, and it. In a way, I'm very happy they went at him. But then again, the Robinhood CEO kind of shut it down, and I'm guessing they were able to buy or sell,
right.
some of those shares. They lost money, obviously, but
right.
not as much as they should have.
So basically, what's happening? First of all, I don't see really anything morally wrong with shorting. It's part of the game.
Of course,
you're allowed to do it. And basically started with Reddit. Finding the exploit of, hey, let's just pump so much volume into the stock and send it to the moon, mm-hmm. and let's make these hedge funds and these short sellers pay for it, literally. And so Melvin Capital,
get wrecked.
Yeah, get wrecked.
Get wrecked.
Basically loses $2 billion, right? They go bankrupt and immediately receive support from another hedge fund, which is an investor, Citadel, right?
That's the Mets owners one, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So what happens with Citadel is that they're also investors in, guess who? Robinhood.
Oh, no.
Schwab, TD Ameritrade.
Jeez.
And so Citadel, basically, their biggest investor whispers in their ear and tells them, hey, you got to cut this off for a little while. We gotta bail these guys out. Mm-hmm. So they start halting the stock, stopping trades, now only doing limiting trades, which is, I thought this was a fair and free market.
Exactly.
Where if you want to take that gamble, you should be free to do it. Mm-hmm. And basically by doing that, they're totally changing the rules of the game.
Yeah, and I have a question. So a Robinhood obviously stopped. You couldn't buy it, you could only sell it. Now, if you were just on a different app, a different platform, or one of these hedge funds, would you be able to buy that stock? Were you able to buy that stock?
So the thing is, the same day that basically no one could go on Robinhood, things like that, I trade through TD. Couldn't get on the TD app, only through the website itself on my laptop. So basically, that was just decreasing volume. You know, people are saying like, buy more. You know, and that was basically just giving hedge funds the window of getting out. You know, and that was just lowering the price. You know, because the more people were pumping into it, the more that they would have to pay back from short selling, just increasing the price, right? And there's been accusations of Robinhood actually selling people's GameStop, AMC is one of the big ones, stocks without their permission. And, you know, giving users the only options of holding or selling, and in some cases through TD and Schwab, only trading through certain margins, which means you're just paying more money to buy the stock, which is pure just market manipulation.
Yeah. They're bullying.
Yeah, totally unfair, you know, and to a lot of new investors, which is basically going on, you know, because the social media and the media are so powerful. There's a lot of new investors who are just basically clueless and just want to jump on the train, you know, which is fine, but basically what it's doing, it's discouraging investors from investing because everyone thought like, hey, I thought this was supposed to be a fair market, but clearly only to billionaires, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It's so blatantly unfair, and especially to the weak hands, because, you know, a lot of people aren't able to throw down thousands of dollars or even take a loss that large, especially if you're forced to sell it. Like, obviously people are probably gonna sell it. It's like playing a big guy's game in a gym, and the owner of the gym is in cahoots with the losing team, and says, you know, you won't be able to play this game unless the winning team that's up by 30 can't score the ball. All they can do is play defense.
Mm-hmm. And that's why they hold the door. They were just holding, you know, they were holding down the line.
They were setting screens, giving the guy, the hedge funds room to do what they have to do to get out. And if I did it, if let's say even before this, a year before, and I shorted a stock, I would never get that opportunity to get out of it with, you know, depending on the volume. Like, not a chance.
You would be forced just to lose big time. I mean, and it's just crazy because more people are starting to see the ties, you know, between Melvin Capital, Citadel, Robinhood, and even paying the Secretary of Treasury over $800K to turn a blind eye, you know. And from that, I see huge class action lawsuits coming from that.
I hope, because like as you say, someone touched on Unity earlier, and like on Twitter was unbelievable yesterday with the memes, just everyone holding the line, the Hodor memes, like it was great. But you also saw like it was the like most random people all like agreeing. It was like Ted Cruz, AOC,
Donald Trump Jr.
It
was sick. Ted Cruz. I like that.
It was just like we got a common enemy, like you know, and I hope they, you know, this fuels them to, you know, it's just a kickstart, and like everyone's just coming in, and we tackle this first because there needs to be something, like, you know, it's just, and with Dogecoin, I know, you know, everyone wanted to go to the moon. And, you know, last night, they changed the rules last night, midnight, and it hurt you because it was up to 8 cents, and then, you know, it sketched everyone out and it dropped.
I mean, yeah, you calling me out on that. I don't want to relive that moment, but
yeah.
But in my mind, I want to hold it down for my people. I want to hold it down for the Doge, for my dogs, you know?
I'm trying to go to the moon.
Yeah. I'm trying to hold it down for my dogs, and so when you're limiting people from depositing money and using their instant, like, you're changing the rules of the game on the fly. That's the worst part. Like, tell me that. Like, you have to give the people time to review the rules and then plan accordingly. You can't just throw a wrench into the gears and watch it. You're gonna watch it blow up. That's all you're gonna do. That's the only outcome, is to watch people lose their money and suffer in a time where money is not easy to get. Unemployment, it's none of our fault. So like, why not, let people take some risks and reap the rewards.
Right. And then basically what's going on is, I'm sure you've got the notifications. I've gotten them through TD, where they're basically just limiting everything, right? And what they're saying is they're
for us, for the normal
right.
people.
And basically what they're saying is, we're just mitigating the risk for you. And it's like, no one's asking you to, because by you mitigating the risk, you're just hurting us.
You're limiting our potential.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if
if these hedge funds are allowed to gamble $400 billion or whatever it is,
right.
we should be able to to full send on that.
Right.
What $400 billion then is probably like 2,000 to me. Like they got that cash.
It's honestly just unreal, pure manipulation of the market at this point, and I don't think they're going to get away with it. No way.
I don't think they are either, but kind of Robinhood it goes on. What's the next app? Like how? Because I'm trying to sign up for apps on this Dogecoin because everyone's talking about going to the moon. So I'm trying to get in. I'm also trying to get on some GameStop stock as well. Where do I go?
That's a tough thing because
Fidelity?
Fat Fidelity.
E-Trade. But the thing is you just don't know who. So you'd have to look up who the investors are, how they're insured, whether or not they're FDIC insured, because there's the potential that you could just somehow lose all your money,
That would suck. Yeah.
But right now, it just seems all the platforms are falling subject to what's going on, and it's hard because, you look at me, I'm on 4 different platforms, right? Hey, you could even trade on Cash App, and this is not a hashtag ad. But
no, we give free ads. It's kind of what we do. I think
okay.
The last episode was Proper 12. This time,
right.
Cash App, some Stellar
right.
Law.
But it's really just, it's really hard to say like where you should go, and especially to new investors. It's if anyone's on StockTwits, I know you are. You can see like all these new investors, obviously young. There's a kid who's 16 that I saw on there who basically was having his parents do like a custodial account for him.
Nice.
But
what a guy. When I was 16, I was not thinking about.
But
I was thinking about getting money for like fast food or something.
Oh yeah, like
or to buy
for games,
a game at GameStop. Yeah, not buy GameStop.
And
stuff.
And it's kind of just interesting to see because you don't really know where to go, kind of.
Yeah.
But and especially if you've been invested and it's like having to liquidate your money to change your platform, and it's just what are you supposed to do? It's not fair for hedge funds just to make a new portfolio and easily liquidate their funds and move it into a new portfolio within a day.
Mm-hmm. It's really discouraging to these young entrepreneurs. We live in a time where being an entrepreneur is the main thing right now. Everyone wants to start their own business.
It's very different than the 20 years ago entrepreneurship too.
Yeah, of course. Now you can literally sit on your couch and make money, have a full-time income, if you play the steps right. But now it's not a free game. Yeah. It's not a free market. You can't play by the rules. But what I like about this revolution, I like to call it, is it's setting a good foundation. It's opening a lot of people's eyes to the future, and you always got to look at the future. Hindsight's always 2020. So now we have a lot of things to look back on, and we never want to go back to 2020, especially with all the bad things that went. So looking into the future, what's next? For me, what I'm focusing on is cryptocurrency, which not a lot of people understand it fully. I don't understand it fully. But what I see with it is less regulation, but it's still it proved itself. Yes, it can be volatile, but the strong ones remain strong because it has the belief and the support of the people. And so if we're able to incorporate that into our daily lives, maybe making purchases with it, we see that the dollar amount is not very trustworthy at this point. So if you try to move your money to Bitcoin or to whatever coin, I think we need to take a look at that a little bit with a more keen eye,
right,
and see the possibilities, because I think Blackstone?
Mm-hmm.
BlackRock.
Yeah.
I think BlackRock does have some Bitcoin in their portfolio, and that's going to raise a lot of other, ETFs and other funds to add that to their portfolio.
Yeah.
So because of competition, this guy's making a profit with crypto. So there's something going on with this whole crypto thing, and with Dogecoin. I mean, I want to believe that it's going to go to the moon, but you always have to defend yourself. But I'm interested in it. I like it. I think it's a good idea.
And I was trying to get in on Dogecoin because it was kind of one day everyone was like, damn, GameStop's blowing up, and the next day, I think it was the day where GameStop was halted trading, but everyone was saying Dogecoin.
Well, Elon Musk said it.
He really started. If Elon Musk says something, usually
he's been talking about Dogcoin. He said that Dogcoin is his favorite.
Is it Dogecoin or Dogcoin?
Whatever you want it to be.
Okay, fantastic.
But it's a dog.
Okay, but Doge is dog too, right?
It can be a dog. It's a bougie way of saying Doge, dog. But he was on it back in the day, and when it started in 2013, it's one of the oldest.
Oh,
coins.
It was before Bitcoin.
Maybe.
To be honest, I don't know, because I remember 50 Cent came out with an album, and this was when he was going through financial struggle.
Yeah.
And they actually paid him through Bitcoin.
Oh,
and then he forgot about it, and when Bitcoin blew up, he was like,
up.
"Oh shit, I'm
Good thing he remembered his password, because there's one guy who forgot his password.
Would you, your last password attempt? Would you try to send it? What do you do at that point if you have one password attempt?
What happens to the money if it just gets locked away forever?
The coin goes away.
I mean,
does that hurt the stock?
You
No.
would have to go through whatever platform you're in, and
I would pay a hacker.
Hey man, I need my password.
True, but with what money? It's all.
I'd be like,
once you get in, I'll give you some
X
Bitcoin.
amount of Bitcoin. Hack it, and I give them even 50%. It's shit.
True. I would try to do everything I could.
Yeah.
You got.
Or I'd sell it. I'd be like, I'll sell my account. Here's a username. I think. Good luck to get the password.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
But this is my thought with cryptos. Obviously, I'm not very familiar with cryptos, but obviously it's another form of currency, right? So everyone's talking about the American dollar's down, this and that, but so is every other country's currency, right? So at the end of the day, it's not too big of a deal. But say everything does come crashing down. You know how back in the day, form of currency was gold and silver and
Of course, yeah.
all this stuff, right? So cryptos could be the next form of that currency if everything does go downhill.
See, I think that could be, we could eventually get there. I just feel like the American population's probably too stupid to understand what crypto is.
Yeah,
or it just doesn't have you gotta do some research.
Yeah.
I've done research. I still don't get how you mine Bitcoin and all that.
Right.
So I just don't know if the American
well, it's international.
Yeah, well, yeah, or I guess international. The average Joe, probably if you ask him about Bitcoin, I would say it's around 50-50, and maybe even more 60-40, of 60 being the people who don't really understand it.
True. I mean, do you truly understand paper money? like the reason why we use paper money is because we trust it. We've been trained to trust it over the years. So I mean, you can't rule it out of the equation. And
here's the thing.
Making a point now.
We'll talk about volume because basically that's what's been going on to pump.
Yeah.
You know, and if you look at AMC, what happened with them is on Tuesday after hours, volume was around like 340 million.
Jeez.
And by pre-market next morning and all throughout midday, it was around 1.2 billion. And after these platforms started halting everything and limiting purchases, it drops back down to around 400 million. From 1.2 to 400, and it's now sitting around like 596, 600 million. But the thing which is what's increasing the price. But I think what a lot of people don't know is that there's almost an unlimited supply of cryptos. So to really pump it up that way, volume wise, is very hard.
I had my cousin's husband, we were in a group chat talking about Dogecoin today. He was saying Dogecoin was actually one of the hardest cryptos to mine. So the supply is actually it's slowing down. So that's why he thinks, that's why he's holding on to his shares tight.
Right.
Is some, I don't know if you guys know, is some harder to...
I don't know.
To mine.
What
I don't really know.
Dogecoin, what they advertises, it's the quickest transaction. They try to make it as seamless as possible, and it's supposed to be like a fun-loving crypto that is easy to use and very quick to transfer back and forth. And essentially, what crypto is you can essentially build a crypto mining factory right here in this room. You would need a giant vent that pumps into the computer and the processing machine like a certain temperature, like a cold air. And it's just computers on computers and GPUs and CPUs that are constantly solving algorithms and creating blockchains. So it's basically solving math equations that only a computer can solve at a super rapid rate, and it has a monetary value after it solves that algorithm, and it creates a crypto. It's very hard to fathom.
No, yeah, I just don't understand. Like, I get all the math leading up to it. It's just like, okay, but how is that worth anything? It's like my
because
kind of thing.
we believe in it.
Is that
you gotta believe it.
I guess because like the stock price is so high.
Do you know how Bitcoin even like blew up?
So the inventor of Bitcoin, he he's very secretive, he's very private, specifically Bitcoin. So there's not much known about him. But it did start the rally started at like $10, $13, and it rallied up, and then it kind of like the hype died down, and then there was a huge boom.
Yeah, I remember.
But he's a Japanese guy, extremely smart, changed the dynamic of the world, or they just put this idea into our head. But I'm sure there's people before him trying to figure this out. Mm-hmm. And governments are still trying to figure out how to regulate it. Ethereum, you know Ethereum?
Yeah.
In Russia, they hired the Ethereum guy to some countries in Russia, or in that Eastern European section, they hired this guy to basically adopt Ethereum to their economy so that they can fully use Ethereum as their source of money. Right. And he's a very weird guy. He creeps me out. But.
It's funny that you mentioned the creator is very secretive.
Yeah.
Because I remember reading something when between the whole like Trump Biden thing, there was basically a debate about how they wanted to regulate cryptos, right? And I mean, obviously I don't really know much, but correct me if I'm wrong, but basically he's secretive because when you're doing transactions with cryptos, the whole point is to be secretive, and
It's untraceable.
right. But basically, what the argument was that the government wanted you to file with the SEC to with transactions $3,000 and up, that you would have to like file and give your information
Yeah.
between transactions, and cryptos were kind of like, that's like defeating the whole purpose.
There's like no leader. Is there a leader of like the cryptos? Like, is there like
Each currency has its developer.
do they all like they're all low key though? Is like one like outside?
This guy Urethrum is like, he's a superstar wherever he is right now. They freaking praise him.
Really?
Yeah, they kiss the ground he walks on. But with this Bitcoin, this whole mining thing, so IBM, do you still have your IBM stock?
I do have IBM.
Are
So
they
listen to
mining it?
this. IBM created a software that essentially plugs into your gaming system, and it uses the power of your Xbox or your PlayStation to essentially mine Bitcoin.
Oh, so we'll be rich.
So let's say you're playing 2K and you win the game, you will get Bitcoin from winning that game.
Wait, what if I lose?
I mean, you just don't
Probably
earn,
just
you don't
nothing.
earn any Bitcoin.
Wait, so I have to win? Like you can it's
Or
it's actually-
however they set up the game.
Oh,
maybe-
wow.
maybe-
So it's a software to where like you play the game
And it while it's processing the game, it uses that power of the processor.
so as long as you're playing, like it's mining.
Yeah.
That'd be
Really
huge
rich.
for IBM.
That would be massive, and it would take off the esports gaming to a whole
Oh
different
yeah.
level.
I mean,
I'd just always be gaming. I mean, if I'm gaming, I'm mining Bitcoin, so I'm making a lot of
Right.
money. It takes a lot to mine a Bitcoin, but I mean,
Yeah, you're not going to be mining like massive amount, but you'll get something.
you'll get one, two here.
I mean, that's just crazy the way companies can get so innovative. I mean, I've been in IBM for almost 2 years now, and it's kind of just been idle. I've just been collecting dividends and into my drip, and that's just your dividend reinvestment for people watching who may not know. And if you're invested, you should do that because it'll just reinvest shares, and eventually it'll just grow and grow.
Compound.
Especially with long-term stocks like that. But it's crazy like how innovative some of these companies are, and it almost makes you think like if GameStop wasn't just that brick and mortar store, and if they could have developed some type of online thing, maybe like with Sony or Microsoft to sell digital downloads or something. I don't know.
Heck, make a console. KFC's
Yeah.
making a console. Why can't GameStop make a console?
GameStop, yeah, that actually did look good. The fries are chicken and you can game on.
Oh, yeah.
Is that real?
I looked into it, and they seemed pretty serious about it. And they were partnering with, I think, Corsair Gaming.
That's pretty fun.
Or
Because I thought it was a joke they were coming out with a movie.
Yeah.
And then they released a 16-minute movie, which was...
but who
It's pretty-
knows?
pretty
I
fun.
mean, it's just
That's crazy.
like for these companies out there, you just gotta stay innovative. You can't just collect your money and like let your company just die off.
Not saying that. If I
That's
ever
basically how all this started.
if I ever built a company like and it was big and we went public and we killed in the stocks, I would sell all my shares and just retire and live a peaceful, happy life.
You could.
My shareholders might be pissed,
Right.
but I'd be out chilling,
It's really
minding my own
it's-
business and because that's the goal.
Yeah.
It's
Get
greed
the cash
that-
and just relax.
You want to know what's funny
Can't be
about
greedy.
this as well? On my way here, I was just like thinking about stuff and just how like crazy this is with all like social media influencers and like celebrities that are getting involved.
Mia
in this.
Khalifa.
Yeah, if Mia Khalifa's in it, you should probably just say
Yeah.
that. But
I bought a little bit more once I saw that though.
I remember a GameStop investment opportunity. They basically presented this thing to Mark Cuban, who's actually been pretty like outspoken about this.
No one.
And Mark Cuban was just like,
He's looking at Dogecoin right now.
Dogecoin trades may not execute right now. We'll be back at 5:50 or earlier.
Robin Hood for you.
That's funny, Robin Hood.
But basically,
Fucking
Mark Cuban was, you know, just beaten up on GameStop, and it was the owner's son who was basically like presenting to Mark Cuban, and Mark Cuban was like, "What industry are you in?" And he was like, "Technology," and Mark Cuban was like, "No, you're not." You just sell video games, you know. If anything, you're in like retail, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely in retail.
And Mark Cuban basically like turned it away, but it was kind of funny to see Mark Cuban come back and kind of have their back and say like, hey, like what these big hedge funds are doing is, it's not that it's not okay, but it's just like the fact that they're manipulating the market and telling the people that are invested in to like halt trades and stuff, like that's what's not okay.
Yeah, and obviously it was all of the whole situation's BS. I was trying to get in on the action just because there's so much action going on.
So much hype.
Like, if I
in
win,
the media.
I win or lose, I want to go along for the ride. I want to hold the door. I want to get in and buy, or
stand
sell
with your
if I
fellow
get
brother.
in. Stand in and
Hold
fight.
the line.
But I've been trying to download I have 4 apps I downloaded, and like the approval of it, I'm just want in on the Doge really, and I can't get in there. Like, people are going to the moon, and like investing. I can't get a damn
people are missing
account
out.
approved, and like I don't even have a rocket ship to go to the moon yet.
Right.
I'm just trying to get the rocket ship to go to the moon, but it's not there.
It's manipulation.
It's pretty trippy to think like what if Joe and I were talking last night and we were like, dude, like this would imagine if everyone was a millionaire because of this. How much change the world would have if like I was a millionaire, everyone was a millionaire off Dogecoin. Like it kind of seems like it wouldn't happen, but then again, like I wouldn't put.
Well, the rich would somehow find a way to
right.
screw us
And,
over.
and that's
Like
the
they
thing
did for
is,
this.
No way all these people could be millionaires off Dogecoin.
yeah, that's the thing is,
Well, a lot of people would have to buy the shares, and like if I mean,
they,
A lot
I
of
guess it
people
could.
have
It's only
them.
at 8 cents. So you could buy a lot of damn shares.
oh yeah, I mean,
Thousands on hundreds of thousands.
the
And then, if you buy 1,000, what finally gets to $1 at some point. It's what,
When it-
10,000.
when it started getting media attention, which is just funny
$1,000.
because like American media can do anything, good and bad. But
Yeah.
but when it was getting attention, it was at 1 cent. So you buy like $10 worth,
It's 100 shares.
right? And it's like, okay, you
Oh,
put it
It's more.
1,000
I think it might be
10.
1,000. Like quick
or
math, I don't know.
100, whatever. But basically, you throw in a couple bucks. Like I think I bought $40 at around like 5 cents and got like 550 shares, right? So like, what if it does blow up, And there's people out there who are throwing like 10K and like all this like cuckoo money in it, but they don't want to see the average investor get rich, because that would just destroy. I mean, we're talking cryptos now, but it's the same case with GME, BlackBerry, AMC. Like, it would just destroy like what we know about the market and how it is now, right?
Yeah, I mean, crazy stuff. Stock market, it's here to stay, obviously. So we're gonna be, investing. This kind of woke me up as someone who doesn't invest. I'm trying to full send on some investments because at the end of the day, I gamble on sports and I miss all the time. So throwing money on stocks, worst case, it's it completely falls off a cliff. But you'll still have like some money in there for
Yep.
falls off a cliff at least. So, like, you miss out on a 5-team parlay with like one team. Hey, it's all for naught.
You're burning money. At least you could put something into something you believe in.
You believe in it grows. The parlays I believe in too. Like, kind of,
That's more luck. This is actually backed by research.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm gonna.
Yeah.
The gambling fund is gonna move into the investment.
Because we suck
It's really
at
gonna
gambling.
change the game.
We
of
totally,
Big Guys LLC.
we totally sold on last week's picks.
Yeah.
UFC lost tons of money. Thank you, Conor McGregor.
I also blame Revis too, because we had a damn parlay in there.
I mean, he still would have lost.
Yeah, but then we could have hedged.
Oh, we definitely could have hedged fund.
We could have shorted McGregor. But
We had like a five
5-team. I think it was like
thing parlay, 5 people.
we all threw in 25. It was like, I think 100. It was plus 1,000. It was like 125 to win like 1,200 or something like that.
Yeah, I had like 25 to win like 350.
I think
The two favorites lost.
I think we should start trading advice for advice. I'll give you a little stock advice for some betting.
I don't
advice
think
and
you want.
information.
This is kind of what we're saying. I don't know if you want our advice because
Take our advice
guess.
and then go opposite.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
If you fade our picks, I won't be mad. Like, I'll be happy for you.
Yeah.
Because you'll probably win a lot of money.
Here's some advice. Jim Cramer, who's a big analyst.
Buffoon.
Yeah, basically whatever he says, 80%. Jim, I'm sorry. Bingo, by the way. Guys, look up Bingo. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, ticker symbol BNG. BNG?
Look it up.
BNGO.
BNGO. Bingo.
Biotech.
Oh, it's up 5%.
Yeah, we're banking.
He basically said
Something we believe is saving lives.
the stock was just trash.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
again, he was wrong. Fortunately, I got in early around $1.45.
Dang.
I was eyeing it below
You're a beast.
90. Did my due diligence.
$1.45? It's at 11.05 right now.
Yeah,
You blew up.
I blew up. Do your due diligence. I'm telling you, and basically that this is a learning lesson, especially what's going on with GME and AMC. But I think this is going to create a lot of interested investors now who are like, hey, like this stuff is fun. It's kind of like betting, but. Do your
And
due
the
diligence.
stock market people hate you calling like the stock market gambling.
A
Because
casino.
yeah,
A casino, yeah.
that's a lot. But essentially, that's how they treat it. So, like,
Yeah, long shorts.
Anything with risk involved that you
It's
have
pretty-
no
yeah.
control over, it is.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's why you got to do your due diligence.
stocks not going anywhere. We'll, hammer Dogecoin, roll in the wall. Moving on, though. We did have last week's games, NFL, UFC. I know we were just touched on it, but Bills Mafia. Our heart goes out to you guys. They lost. Thoughts on that game and what do you have to say to Bills Mafia?
Bills Mafia, don't be discouraged. You did make it far, but unfortunately, these Kansas City Chiefs have too many weapons, man. They're just Tyreek Hill's just too darn good. He's too darn shifty. And Travis Kelce, he's a receiver. I mean, and Patty Mahomes, I thought Buffalo Bills needed to lay him out, I saw the one of the linemen on Kansas City punch a Bills lineman, and it's like,
Jeez.
you guys got to play like that, Buffalo. But
Yeah.
but
That was
those,
some damn hard, yeah.
Yeah, I think it just wasn't their year. I mean,
I thought it was though.
they got it. They got it. I don't think Allen's quite there yet. And I don't really like him, to be honest, because I'm a Steelers fan.
Why?
and-
Because he beat you guys this year?
Yeah, and the stuff he said about Juju,
Oh, he said. What did he say about Juju?
No, and before they came out of the tunnel, he's like, "Let them do the dancing.
Oh.
We'll do the talking." And the fact that they just hid in the locker room before the wow, I'm drawing a blank.
the dancing occurred
No, the
before the Corvette.
the
stormed.
national anthem
Oh.
all season.
Oh, they did that. I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
all season. But I think they have the team. They just got to make a few modifications, and they'll be there. But Kansas City, good team. Tampa Bay, kind of wild that this is the first Super Bowl ever getting to be played at home.
Of course it's Brady.
And Tom Brady there for the first year. I mean,
wow. Can't write it better than that.
That's why, I think it's a little interesting that somehow we just have Brady and Mahomes. That's too picture perfect for the NFL.
Yeah.
And I was going to touch on this, or fat or skimp. I guess I'll just go to it now. This Brady Mahomes Super Bowl, is it fat, skimp? Do you like it?
It's fat and skimped multiple ways. Because as a Steelers fan, I don't want to see... Well, he's not on the Patriots. I don't want to see Brady get any more.
Seeing Brady succeed, no one wants to see that anymore.
I think Mahomes is a legend. He's going to be one of the greatest. But I also hate to see either Antonio Brown or Le'Veon Bell get a ring. It should. I mean, they both haven't really done anything, but I don't want to see them get a ring for not doing anything. So
no, yeah, I mean, one of them's going to. So, we'll see what happens. I'm not too happy about it. As I said, it's too picture perfect for the NFL.
Yeah, it's classic.
I would like to see a team like the Bills go in. As we mentioned, we went to that sports bar, great time. We didn't go there last Sunday. A little down after McGregor got waxed.
We were so depressed
that whole Sunday, everyone I talked to was just laying on their couch all day, just disappointed with McGregor. They had just lost a good amount of money betting on McGregor, and it was a tough Sunday. Mm-hmm. Nothing went right last weekend. I lost in poker on Friday night too.
Yeah, it was brutal, but we bounced back. There's always more opportunities out there.
Always.
Yeah. Moving on, I guess we'll hop right into the fat skimp question, or fat skimp segment of the show.
Hit me with one.
I did Brady or Mahomes, Joe, so I'll hit you with the next one. John Collins trade rumors, fat or skimped? It's a tough one.
That's a tough one. I haven't really heard the trade rumors. What teams are interested in it?
So I saw an article. It was teams are monitoring the situation. So they're once people start reporting here, there, kind of picks up close to the deadline because they didn't sign the extension.
Yeah.
But is it fat? Is it skimped?
It's fat if he gets paid
and goes for a winning team.
Yeah, there's a lot riding on it because he needs to bring that. I mean, he wants to win. He plays hard. I see him playing. He throws it down with authority.
JC's a legend.
His defense is only getting better.
He just puts up 20 and 10 a night, just not even being a focal point of the offense. He gets a lot of his work off rebounds and second chance points.
And I want him to be happy.
I think he could be fat if he goes to a super team. That way, people can actually acknowledge his talent.
Atlanta, not the best market, but I do like what they're building over there.
Yeah, I do too.
I
young team.
The rumors are skimped because I wish they would just pay the man.
Yeah.
The money he deserves.
Secure that bag.
Give him the bag he deserves because he's really starting. He was there before Trey. People look at Trey as the franchise player because he's got the big name, who's the higher draft pick.
He shoots half
JC came in and he's been a 20 and 10 guy ever since. So I hope he gets paid. I hope they do make a couple moves and try to bring in a solid two guard to help them in the playoffs. But I hope he gets paid and moves forward. And
what if he went to the Heat?
I mean, if he goes to the Heat, that's fat.
Oh god.
Yeah. I would love that. Him and Bradley Beal. Bring him over.
Who are we getting rid of?
Everyone, fuck it. We got JC and Bradley Beal.
That'd be fine.
We need one more for the big three.
All right.
Yeah. Jimmy Buckets.
Oh, that's true. I don't watch basketball.
Joe and I know you're not a big UFC guy, but fat or skimped after McGregor's loss, the future of the UFC.
I think it's gonna be skimped. Because Conor McGregor is he's just so loud that everyone knew who he was and kind of put a large voice to the UFC. You know, where a lot of people were watching him when he was in his prime, I guess. But I think it's going to be hard to find a guy that replaces him in that aspect. I mean, there's still some pretty big names in there, but I think they could use some media attention. Just a different way of looking at it.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not fat at all. I don't think that's what anyone expected. So I'm going to say it's the UFC going forward. It's skimped. We're going to need to see some fights. I don't know what these fighters are going to do now. We might lose Conor to boxing.
He still has a couple fights on. He still has like 2 or 3 on his contract, though.
Yeah. I mean, he's not. Who's he gonna fight? You know, he's got to fight Dustin again.
He doesn't want to fight that Anderson guy. Was it Michael Anderson, the guy who did the backflip off the cage?
Michael Chandler.
Yeah, you don't want to fight him.
No, he would wreck.
He would wreck McGregor, and that'd be that. I think he needs to go back down to feather. We were 7-0, and just dominate there because he moved up and his punches aren't hitting.
If you want to sell, put him against Nate Diaz again. Let him go one more time.
Yeah, you do know for McGregor. I think the product going forward is still going to be good by the UFC because there's some good fighters, great fights happen all the time, but the viewership's just going to be down because you don't have a guy who attracts attention like McGregor. Even John Jones doesn't really fight that much anymore. So.
Oh yeah. Well, hopefully we'll see Stipe versus John Jones.
Cleveland.
That'd be
Firefighter,
sick.
you gotta love it. All right, last fat or skimped, a dill. D-Wade making an OnlyFans. Fat or skimped?
That's fat. D-Wade getting his. People are hating on my man D-Wade for being himself and being true to what he believes. D-Wade, go for it. I probably won't watch it. But if that's what pays your bills, you can, I know Chris Bosch might watch it, But, yeah, do what you want, D-Wade. Get yours, secure that bag, have fun, live your life, enjoy retirement.
I think it's skimped as hell.
Is he doing
I know, he just tweeted about joking how he asked Gabriella if he was should we make an OnlyFans? And she was like, hell no. It's like, D-Wade, what are you doing out here, bud? Let's stick to, he's on TNT,
Yeah.
Zaire, I don't want to see that.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
But, Joe, I want to say thank you for being, for coming on the show today. Everyone clap it up for Joe, the big guy.
We had a lot of good points,
Thanks,
a lot of
big
good
guys.
talking.
Looking forward to chatting with you guys next week. We'll see. Dogecoin, we may be on the moon by then. You don't know.
Next podcast on the moon.
Yeah.
Hold the line.
Hold the line. We'll be on the moon for the next podcast.
Do your due diligence.
Don't let them scare you.
Have a good one, big guys.